I've just spent about 4 hours on the side of this car, and I must say this paint job has been one of the best I've ever done in my life. I think I can't believe it was done outside, and I can't believe it was done in like 13 degrees. Today I don't think it's got much above 10, 11, 12 degrees. I have got thermal underwear on top and bottom. I've got like about 4 layers on top, my beanie, and my face is still cold. But I soldiered on through, and I got this whole side buffed. I sanded it a little bit. We could feel a tiny little bit. You couldn't see it, but you could feel a little bit of rough from being painted outside. So that got sanded and buffed on this side. Got the window back in, got all the door handles back in, got the glass in, and the door handles, the interior, they're all back together. All the rubbers around all these doors, they're all back together, and it's all fully functioning this side. I've left the plastic on because when you buff it flicks shit everywhere, and I've covered up those windows, and I still have to do this side here. So I've sanded it a little bit down the bottom with 2000 grit, just for the where I've blown the edges of the paint to fade it in, and you can see the blotchiness down the side. That's where I've sanded off scratches and rub marks where it was a little bit yucky. So that's all good now, and then tomorrow I can buff. I can get up in the morning and buff. It's kind of it's well after 4 now, and you can feel it, the temperature drop really quickly, and I've kind of had enough. So I'm going to go inside and look at cooking something for dinner and having a shower and getting in front of that fire, because that's where everyone else is. They have been in front of the fire watching TV, watching movies all day, and it's my turn now. So yeah, I'll come out tomorrow and buff this side and get that plastic off and get this thing tidied up so we can get on the road in a few days. Check this out. Got a bit of an issue there. When I pulled the lights out, I did notice that that was broken there. We came to melt some staples in there to hold it together. You're not going to see it once you put the lights on, so that would have been adequate. But we actually have an issue with the bit down the bottom here that is actually broken. I'll get this off today and have a bit more of a look at it, but we're waiting for a new one of those along with our pulley tensioner. I'm hoping he'll come in the next few days, so I'll have to get this front end off, and fingers crossed I don't snap all those clips off the grill, which is why I didn't go any further earlier. But it's attached underneath. You can see there's bolts under there, and there's more under the middle there. So Tuesday the 27th of May, I am back in the shed. It's a beautiful day after all that rain and whatnot that we had. It's cold. I've got thermals on and several layers, but at least it's bright and cheery and sunny. It's one thing it is here in Christchurch. It's definitely quite bright and cheery a lot of the time thus far. Today is about the camper. I'm going to clean it up a little bit, do a few little bits and bobs. One of them is these curtains. They can come out. That's the first thing I'll do, is I'll take the curtains out. Half of them are down anyway. It's just those last couple that I've got to come out. I'll throw them in the washing machine and I'll get them washed and hung up. They'll take a couple of days to dry, because even though it's sunny and bright, it's not really great for drying things in a hurry. I miss the WA weather for that. And then the front end has to come off, so I'll try and sort that out. That bumper needs doing, and there's a couple of clips and nuts and bolts and things that can get put together, like this mirror that goes on the front there that needs cleaning. So it's all those little fiddly things that I'll be getting on with today, and getting the inside of this van maybe a little bit cleaner. I did ask Ruby if she'd give me a hand. She stuck her hands over her ears and went inside, so she may come out, she may not. Thursday 28th of May, I got the bumper off yesterday and gave that a bit of a clean up underneath. Thankfully that grill didn't have to come off, which is great news. I washed the curtains. That was a couple of loads, so they'll be dry today. And my job is going to be cleaning up the inside of this van, doing a few fiddly bits and bobs. Now that is the piece that is broken on the bumper, which is good. We don't really need a whole bumper. We can repair the crack and replace that if we can get it from the wreckers. I pulled the back piece back off that door handle. This is the handle. We got a green plastic bit that doesn't fit. We need the brown plastic bit, so I've got that bagged up ready to take to the wreckers. I cleaned all the front lights. This one though will definitely need to replace. If you can see, it's had water in it and it's kind of rusted out that the reflective in behind there, so it's pretty ineffective. And when I was blowing it dry gently, put a hole in it as well, so that you can see how brittle that plastic is. And this is the problem with the second-hand parts, is the brittleness. But we will try and get one of those. This morning, first job with the patients of the beginning of the day, I'm going to try and stick that back up. The issue is, I found yesterday, that rib has to come out. See, they've got ribs. They're just a couple of screws, bolts that you bolt out. Now this one's only got the one bolt in each side. They've taken them away for this wood to go up there, and the awning, which is here, if you can see with the sun, those two bolts there are going in and through, and they're in the way, so I'll have to undo them to get that rib off to be able to stick that lining back up. So that's my first fiddly job today. And yesterday I went round with the polish and I cleaned up these door interiors on both sides because they were a bit yucky, and there's those other parts that I've cleaned up, which I won't put back on until till the last minute. But time to get on with it.